Musculoskeletal stress markers caused by occupational stress and its relation to sex. Introduction. The excavation of the site of San Pedro Belize uncovered the skeletal human remains of 46 individuals that were naturally preserved well enough in sand to be studied. These remains belong to ancient Maya, dating back to the terminal post-classic to historic period, who had been buried under what is now the Sands Hotel. This population is part of a small fishing village. These people likely led a labor-intensive lifestyle, which would lead to the skeletal remains showing signs of musculoskeletal stress markers. This stems from the theory that the males of this village would carry out harsher tasks such as hunting and engaging in warfare, causing musculoskeletal stress markers. Within the sample population, we hypothesize that each individual's sex correlates with the absence or presence of occupational stress. The skeletal remains of males will have more MSM present, whereas the females will show fewer or no signs of trauma related to harsh labor. Materials. Skeletal remains of 11 Maya individuals from a population of 46 excavated in San Pedro Belize, dating back to the terminal post-classic to historic period. Critical bones that we used are skull, pelvis, left and right humerus, left and right first metacarpal. Many individuals had partially or fully missing bones. Methods. Using Boykstra and Ubo Lecker's 1994 sex estimation techniques, all intact sexually dimorphic markers on both pelvis and skull were scored on a 1 to 5 scale. A full report on sex estimation was created using MorphoPass. This program compares the entered markers to existing samples. To determine the presence or absence of trauma to the first metacarpals and humerus, musculoskeletal stress markers were referenced. Robusticity markers scored 0 to 3, stress lesions present or absent and scored 4 to 6, score ossification exostosis, present or absent, and scored 1 to 3. Our results were analyzed in RStudio using a chi-score test. Sex estimation. As you can see, this chart shows the standard scoring methods for sex estimation via sexually dimorphic traits of the skull. That's the chart on the left, and the chart on the right is the standard scoring methods for sex estimation via sexually dimorphic traits of the pelvis.
The first part of our results looks at robusticity at the muscle attachment site, deltoid tuberosity, looking at both the right and left humerus. Looking at the right humerus, we saw that both sexes showed signs of robusticity. However, only one male subject was scored at the highest expression. Looking at the left humerus, we saw that scores were almost even between males and females, with the males having one more individual scoring 0 than females. The next site that we looked at was robusticity at the muscle attachment site at the opponent's polycis of the right first metacarpal, and we looked at that as well as the left first metacarpal. So on the right first metacarpal, we saw that females had a higher degree of robusticity, whereas on the left first metacarpal, we saw that males had a higher degree of robusticity. However, for the left first metacarpal, we had a much more limited range of data, so that could be affecting the tables that we're looking at here. For the final sites we looked at, it was ossification exostosis at the muscle attachment site, deltoid tuberosity of the right humerus, as well as stress lesions at the same site. For ossification exostosis, we saw, despite having a limited range of data here, that females had a higher degree of ossification exostosis. And then with stress lesions at the same site, once again, a limited range of data, we saw that males had a higher degree of stress lesions. So overall, we gathered that both female and male individuals show about a medium degree of musculoskeletal stress markers in both right and left humerus as well as the first metacarpal. So the right sides of these bones show more wear and tear. Both sexes have a diverse mix of results. Since females have a higher rate of robusticity, while the right-sided humerus and left-sided first metacarpal favored males, the tests ended up being rather balanced. If we were to conduct this test with a larger sample population, the test might have been able to give a further analysis of which sex shows more wear and tear at the different sites. Overall, and anthropologically speaking, our results show a lack of sexual division of labor in this Maya city. However, this limited sample is not quite enough to fully conclude what the division of labor looked like at this site.